Hello, I'm Dan Ryder with Nevada Home Connections, and thank you for joining me with my interview with an expert, real estate experts, that is. And today's expert is a dear friend and wonderful escrow officer, Janine Norvick. You're a Ticor title. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So I've got questions, if you're ready.
I'm ready.
First of all, they refer to you as an escrow officer, but you're at a title company. Tell me the difference between title and escrow.
The title department is the department here that researches all of the documents for us. They're kind of behind the scenes a little bit, but they're researching what's of record and produce the product that I can then close on.
So that would include things like liens,
judgments, deeds of trust that
okay,
most people
deeds
do
of
have
trust,
on their
right.
property. If we've got a deceased person or a probate case that we need to deal with, they will search all. This is what the property looks like for title insurance purposes, and then the escrow side will do more of the money, more of the monetary part of it.
making sure everything's getting paid.
The contract is followed, everybody's doing what they said they were going to do per that contract.
Okay, so it's you basically, you treat the contract as if it were instructions. And that's
Exactly, yes,
Perfect.
exactly.
So you mentioned title, and of course at the title company, if it's an insured sale, you actually purchase title insurance.
You do.
In fact, in Nevada, we have two types of insurance. Can you explain that for us?
We can. We have the one that's issued to the owner, for the ultimate buyer.
Okay.
The seller customarily pays for that, but it's not
It's negotiable.
It's negotiable. And that ensures the buyer that there's going to be no concerns. Nobody's going to be knocking on their door at midnight asking why they're living in somebody's home. Fraud, community property interest, any liens, judgments, all of that kind of stuff is covered from day one when we started doing all of this back in 1902 to that day when they buy the home.
Well, you have been doing. I noticed by your modern equipment here.
Yes,
anyway.
yes, hence the year. The one we also issue a title insurance policy to the buyer's lender if the buyer's obtaining
so if
the
there's
loan.
no lender, then there isn't a second title.
Correct.
Okay. But you have a loan, and that basically covers the lender for
Covers
all
the
the same
lender.
stuff.
And more, actually.
Really?
That lender's policy covers the lender against anything, whether it's on record or off
Oh,
record.
really?
Whereas the one that's issued to the owner only deals
I did
with
not know that.
matters of public
How
record.
come we get that good
You
stuff?
can't get that. No.
Okay. So, we know the escrow fee is negotiable, in a transaction. But who do you work for, actually?
I work for Ticor Title. Even though I've got a buyer and a seller and a contract in my hand, I am the impartial third party that's just making sure that everybody does what they said they were
Switzerland.
going
You
to
are
do.
Switzerland.
I'm Switzerland.
Regardless of who pays.
Correct.
Let's talk about Earnest Money, because you're also the person. You write an agreement and you include Earnest Money. It's usually fairly large sum, $1,000, $5,000, something, and you hold that during escrow. And I know sometimes the escrow fails to close, and often when it fails to close, it leads to some sort of dispute as to who gets the Earnest Money. How do you handle that?
We have to have mutually agreed upon instructions from both the buyer and the seller to tell us what to do with that money.
So even if, let's say, the contract says that if the buyer fails to do this, then the earnest money will be non-refundable. And it says that in the contract.
I'm still going to want to.
You still have to get that.
Yeah,
okay.
you still have to
It's a good tip.
instruct me to spend that money.
Let's talk some basic stuff. And when do buyers and sellers typically come in and sign all their documents?
Ideally, a few days before the actual closing occurs. It's a little calmer feeling that way.
Same day, kind of rough.
Same day gets a little rocky, a little stressful for us to try and get everything done.
And I know people are, they say, well, I'm going to my closing appointment thinking that they're going to sign it and walk out with keys, and that's just not the case.
Not the case.
So,
the seller usually
a few days before. What if I'm out of town?
Not a problem at all. We have a nationwide notary service that we can use.
Go meet them.
And so anybody can sign anywhere at any time. We often tell people work home, local coffee shop.
How long should people schedule for that appointment?
If you're a seller, I would say 20 to 30 minutes.
Quick.
Fewer fewer documents. If you're buying and you're getting a loan, I'd say 40 to 45.
Well, I mean, those packages are pretty, the buyer side of a new loan, how many pages, what you
Oh
think?
gosh, I'd say 130-ish, depending
What
on the type
percentage of buyers actually read every page?
Well, not enough.
Not very
Not
many.
a high.
I've seen it happen twice.
Yeah.
An airline pilot and an engineer.
There you
actually.
go. There you go.
Well, thank you, Deb. Any final tips to say, wow, I'm going to my signing, and maybe their agent hasn't coached them up? What do you say to that?
Just make sure you have a willing hand. We'll have the pens.
Yeah.
Bring your identification.
ID, that's a biggie.
And we can guide them through it and deal with the funds, whether they want to bring a cashier's check or wire. Better to talk about that in person.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.